to YouTube, capital G here, giving you guys a first look and or sneak peek at the brand new booster set that just got revealed in the OCG. This is Infinity Chasers. It's going to be released next year in February, I believe February 23rd, 2019 to be exact. This is not going to be a core booster set, so those of you wondering, this is not the set that comes after Dark Neo Storm or anything like that. Not going to probably have anything to do with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains anime, so don't expect any of the anime cards to come in this set, and that means that it's probably going to be a smaller set, very similar to Destiny Soldiers or the brand new, Hidden Summoners or Fusion Enforcers, High Speed Riders, Wing Raiders, all of those small sets. This does mean that we will be getting 3 brand new archetypes in this set, and I imagine that we're probably going to get about 60 cards in this set. Now, it's really cool because we know Konami actually has shown us these archetypes, well, at least a couple of cards from the archetypes, and they've actually given us a little bit of a description of the archetypes that are going to be in this set, which you guys are looking at as one of the monsters from the brand new Witchcraft archetype. And I can't even say one of the monsters because, in these smaller sets, we have gotten some archetypes where there's basically just like one monster. I mean, if you really look at Sky Strikers, it's kind of just Rey cosplaying into a bunch of different suits of armor. It's really technically one monster in the entire archetype. She's just putting on different suits of armor. Even something like Invoked, it's just, kind of Alistair and a whole bunch of other random shit. But this is a new archetype called Witchcraft, and it's crazy, right? Because this is like the most predictable thing ever in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So 3 archetypes were revealed, and we do know a little bit about them, but obviously the archetype that the only archetype that everybody wants to talk about is the cute anime girl archetype. People are already saying this is going to be the chase archetype in this set. Konami's going to make this the broken one of the 3, because keep in mind, guys, we have gotten competitive, archetypes out of these smaller sets, Sky Strikers, Invoked, etc., etc. And this is crazy, right? So we don't even know what mechanic this card is. We don't know the name of the card. We don't even know what any of her effects or her stat line are. And you guys want to know something that's fucking crazy? Keep in mind, this information was just revealed, hours ago. Now, when you guys see this video, it will be on Wednesday, but this information came out about midday Tuesday. The crazy thing about this is there is already fucking fan art of the card. Like, we don't even know what her name is, and there's already fucking fan art of the card. Konami, if they find this out, I guarantee you guys, we're gonna be getting anime girl decks forever, because obviously that's all people really care about. But let's go ahead and read over these archetypes and then, do what I like to do, which is recklessly speculate on what they could actually have in store. So the first one is actually a machine archetype. It's based around Link Summoning and Xyz Summoning, which I think Xyz Summoning just really works well with machines. It kind of, I don't know, looking at this monster, if this is a monster and not like a field spell or something like that, this kind of reminds me, it's giving me a little bit of like a rank 10 trains vibe, a little bit of a Liebherr or something like that. Like, I could definitely see this being some huge boss monster, maybe a rank 11 or a rank 12 or some shit like that. This is, I guess, going to be called Infinite Ignition. It says a machine theme that uses large-scale Link and Xyz monsters. Now, when they say large-scale Xyz monsters, yeah, that definitely gives me that whole rank 10 vibe. Plus, just look at the massive size of this thing. I mean, this thing looks like it's cutting through a mountain, or it's, creating the Grand Canyon 2.0 or something like that. So I could definitely see this being something very similar to rank 10 trains, where your boss monsters are probably going to be, your game enders. And this is a deck that probably focuses on doing basically like a lot of battle damage in one turn, consolidated all into kind of one battle phase. But it's going to be interesting to see how Konami mixes in Link Summoning with Xyz Summoning as well. So Konami not forgetting about the Xyz mechanic. And then we have, of course, the cute anime girl deck. This is Witchcraft. It says a spellcaster theme that uses in-hand spell effects to employ various effects. Now, to me, that kind of sounds like a cross between Magical Musketeers and maybe Sky Strikers. Some people are saying that they're getting a prophecy vibe. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, what's that anime, Little Witches Academia? I think I've seen a couple of like posters or pictures of that, getting a little bit of that vibe, but people are saying that this reminds them a little bit of like prophecy. I think that we could be seeing, a Sky Striker type deck where there aren't going to be any traps for this archetype. It probably will be an archetype with nothing but spells, very similar to, prophecy as well. But I'm thinking Magical Musketeers because this does say that you'll be able to use the spell cards from your hand, which I imagine, like, just using spell cards from your hand isn't unique unless you can use them from your hand during your opponent's turn, a la Magical Musketeers. Like if you can activate your quick plays from your hand, that definitely, that kind of makes a little more sense. I wonder what mechanic this deck will be based around. Although I could see, because a lot of like Magical Musketeers originally, they were kind of based around no extra deck mechanic. They just happened to get a Link monster. So don't be surprised if this archetype doesn't actually have like an extra deck monster. I could definitely see it, because even if you look at like Prophecy came out in Zexal, but they never fucking used their XC monsters. I mean, they got a Link too, but I don't even think they used their Link monster either. Prophecy just really doesn't go in the extra deck that much. And then this is the archetype that I actually am most interested in. When I looked at it, I was like, man, kind of looks like one of the rejects from like the Invoke archetype. Like this guy didn't get the call back for the archetype. He's at the unemployment office or something like that. But this is called Cursed Eye, and it's a fiend theme that uses equip cards to employ powerful effects. Now, the reason that I think that this is the most interesting, at least to me, is because honestly, I kind of feel like equip cards, especially like equip spells, I feel like they're kind of just a forgotten mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! I know people are gonna say, Cap G, what about I sold? Everybody's playing, equip cards and Goki and Rongo, Dongo, Dot Deck, 86 and all that good stuff. And I totally get that, but the only reason we're really playing equips right now is just because of I sold. If Konami banned I sold tomorrow, there would be absolutely no equips in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, yeah, you can say like Noble Knights, I fucking guess. But before Noble Knights, I mean, or outside of Noble Knights, I feel like the only time we were playing equips was like Snatch Steel, when that was legal for a format. So I just feel like historically, equips have kind of just been an underused kind of mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! Outside of DM, where, we were all fucking terrible at the game. Like, yeah, people played equips during DM, but outside of that, it's only been broken equips like Snatch Steal and Premature Burial that people have basically played. I'd kind of like to see an archetype, like the Guardian Seals. It was Raphael from DM, right? Didn't his entire archetype revolve around like monsters that got effects when they're equipped? Basically, kind of make it like Noble Knights, but not shitty, like a better Noble Knights. That would be kind of cool for me, because again, I feel like equips are an underused mechanic and very forgotten about. It's very similar to how ABC with the Union mechanic was, kind of forgotten before ABC. But what do you guys think of this, of these, I guess, kind of reveals or these archetypes so far? Granted, not a lot of information to go on, but what are you guys' aspirations for the archetypes, and which one are you most excited about? Which, let's be real, because because of the weeaboos, it's probably going to be her. Again, she already has fan art, which is just absurd. I guess I can't call anybody a weeb because I'm on episode 55 of fucking Brains, and I just started watching this show maybe about, I don't know, like a month ago, so I'm just blazing through. Anyways, whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos. So this is really interesting. I don't usually add to my videos, but Konami put out a bunch more information because they actually just had a press release for this set in the TCG. Looks like it's going to be called the Infinity Chasers for the TCG. We knew that it was probably going to be a 60 card booster set. Now we have confirmation. Now this is really interesting. We know the TCG release date. It's going to be March 22nd, 2019. So basically just 4 weeks after the OCG gets this set, we're going to be getting it as well, which is insanely fast. I can't believe Konami is giving it to us this fast. And it also talks about the archetypes a little bit more. I'm gonna skip over the infinite, what are these guys' names again? The Infinite Ignitions, because it doesn't really say anything here new about the Infinite Ignitions. It basically just talks about how they're link based and they're at C based, and you can combine the two mechanics to make some very powerful fields, which we already kind of knew that. We've seen this played out in, I guess, like Prank Kids. Prank Kids are Fusion and Link, so Konami has done this before, where they'll build a new archetype based around a couple mechanics, or even net this as Ritual on Link. But these two are kind of interesting, especially when it comes to the Cursed Eye, right? So when it comes to the Witchcraft, it says skilled craftswomen that enhance their creations with a touch of magic. It says perfection takes time, and this strategy is all about deflecting attacks from enemy monsters while carefully sculpting the perfect hand and field, then blowing away your opponent, or excuse me, then blowing your opponent away with your created masterpiece. So interesting. I don't know, maybe if Konami's alluding to them maybe getting a quick play type mirror force, because it says deflecting attacks. It goes on to say this deck employs lots of spellcasters that can make use of the existing spellcaster related cards like Spellbook of Knowledge. I'm going to say that that pretty much confirms Spellbook of Knowledge is going to be in this set. Not exactly sure how much Spellbook of Knowledge is off the top of my head, but if you're looking for a reprint of it, I'm guessing it's going to be in this set. So I don't know, what exactly, it doesn't really say anything about extra decks. I don't know, again, if these are if this archetype is going to even have an extra deck mechanic. Now, this one is really interesting, right? When it comes to the Cursed Eye, keep in mind these are the dudes who are supposed to work with equip spells, right? So it says Servants of the Forbidden Eye. Servants of the Forbidden Evil Eye clash beneath the pale moon. These terrifying combatants and their familiars draw power from a source of unfathomable evil. I can never pronounce that word. I know what it means. It means like unimaginable. I can't fucking pronounce that word. It says that threatens to consume them at any moment. This strategy employs an unusual style of play that's highly rewarding but requires you to conform to a specific gameplay condition similar to the Sky Strikers of Dark Saviors. Now, the fact that Konami would even compare this to Sky Strikers already raised my eyebrow. That tells me that if I just had to go out on a limb and say which one is going to be the most competitive, it's probably the fact that they're even comparing this to Sky Strikers tells me they want this one to be competitive. And when you think about it, right, it probably is going to be like Sky Strikers. Konami thought that they were going to balance Sky Strikers by saying, hey, you can't have any monsters in the main monster zones, otherwise your deck basically doesn't work. However, if you don't have any monsters in your main monster zone, then your deck is basically like nuts. I'm thinking that this deck is going to be similar to that. It's probably going to be like you can only control one monster or something like that, or you can only, oh man, here's what it's going to be. You can only control one monster that has equip spells to it or something like that. Like if a monster, is on the field and there's a monster that has equips and the other one doesn't, like maybe it blows itself up or something like that. I think they're going to put restrictions on it, but it's going to end up being very similar to Sky Strikers, where if you don't meet those restrictions, like if you can work around them, then the deck's basically like fucking OP. So my Yu-Gi-Oh intuition is telling me like this deck's going to end up being competitive, and that we're probably going to have our first real equipped, archetype, not Noble Knights, that ends up being like super meta relevant. But whatever you guys think, I just wanted to add on that little bit to give you guys a better understanding of what is to come in this set, and the fact that we're getting it in like 3 months from now. Anyways, leave it in the comment section below, guys.